Welcome again to another edition, another episode of 3-in-1 Moto program where we showcase beauty, performance, and purpose of the car that you choose. Today we are looking at not just an ordinary car, we are talking American muscle V8 engine Hemi, that is the Jeep SRT8. My name is Benson Putego. We're here at Kobe Trading. Well, in this program, we look at beauty, we look at performance, we look at purpose of the car, the beauty that extends to the person themselves, to the model, to the presenter, to you, the viewer, when you talk about the car that you want to drive. And today, I'm not just with an ordinary man. They say he's got a big brain in a small head, especially when it comes to the issue of car analysis. Our resident car analyst today, Master Alpha.
Thank you, Benson. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
Let's talk about the Jeep SRT8.
To start with, this is not just an ordinary Jeep.
Yes.
It's an SRT8. SRT is not just a set of initials. It stands for Street and Racing Technology. That tells a story that you can never hear of it anywhere in the world. It's an 8-cylinder engine car, 6.4-liter Hemi engine, and it has the capacity to do away with 0 to 100 business in less than 5 seconds.
Okay, that's how much faster it is?
Faster than you can think of. In fact, it outboxes many of these small engine cars and many SUVs.
Okay, they say
it's a Jeep, by the way.
They say it's a sports utility vehicle, but it's got so much power. Why did the Americans put so much power in a sports utility vehicle?
Well, it's not about there's so much power in it or not, but the bottom line is that they gave you the sufficient power.
Okay.
Sufficient power to drive this car.
Okay. This is the car we are looking at. This is a Jeep SRT8, V8 engine, Hemi, 6.4 liter, right? What is the purpose of this car? If you were to advise a viewer at home or wherever they are to get this car, or who wants to get this car, what would you really perceive to be the purpose of the car?
It has the best of both worlds. Okay. It can go almost everywhere you are tempted to go to. It's fast on the road, it's robust off road, it's got like everything. Another plus that it has is the quadra-lift suspension. It can adjust its height for 4 different settings. That's why it's called the quadra-lift suspension.
Okay, now let us try to categorize its benefits in respect of our different terrains in Botswana. You know, in Botswana you've got the up north, especially northwest, where we are seeing the Okavango area, the Nhabe area, the Chobe area, and you also have the southern part, the Kalahari area, where you talk about the St. Junes and sorts. You've got the areas where the urban areas and peri-urban areas where the roads are tarred and sorts. So try to look at these terrains, different terrains, and tell me what this car can do.
Benson, there's absolutely no terrain that this car can find itself like lost in the dark. It goes everywhere and anywhere at any time.
Okay. Most of us, Botswana, we are farmers. And what can it do, or what can it do for a farmer in terms of towing? You know, obviously here you're talking about a big engine, but we're not used to this kind of power and this kind of engine. What then can it do to somebody who wants to utilize it in terms of farming, in terms of haulage?
It can tow anything that is up to a maximum of 5 tons. That's what this can do for you.
So 5 tons, you're talking about 5,000 kg?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us go back again, Alpha, to the engine capacity. We know that we talk about numerous cars, the cars that are in its league, the AMGs, the X5Ms. We'll want to say that these are sports utility vehicles just like it. But it doesn't have turbochargers. What is making it so fast when we know that it's got a big engine, yes, that is the horsepower, that's the muscle we are talking about. But the speed, the supersonic speed with which it takes off, even in terms of the top end, it has got a serious top end. What makes it reach such levels of performance?
One is the mechanical configuration of this car. The architecture, exterior architecture of this car. It has like many telling elements that shows how this car, it is this car. To start with, if you look carefully on the bonnet here, there are 2 heat extractors. Those help in the cooling and the extraction of the heat from the engine. Remember, it's non-turbo, it's non-supercharged. Okay. Secondly, if you look at the brake pads here, they are Brembo. Those who in the know will tell you that Brembo doesn't supply anybody. You think of the Subaru, you think of this car, you think of the Ducati in the the motorbike world. Okay. That just tells how this car, it is this car, not any other car. And if you go at the back, you'll see 2 protruding exhaust pipes measuring 100 millimeters in size. Okay. They help in taking out more of the smoke from the engine outside into the atmosphere. Okay. And the compression ratio as well is better than many cars that we can like.
Shouldn't we be worried because this is a big engine and therefore maybe the exhaust fumes and the pollution? What do you say about that one? What considerations did they take into?
There's not much to worry about because they have what is called that comes naturally. Yeah. They have what is called the fuel saving technology. The fuel saving technology applies in this way. If you are like driving in what is called a partial load range, yes, it automatically shuts down the 4 cylinders and operates as a 4-cylinder car as such.
It's a V8 engine, it shuts the other 4 cylinders, yes, and then it operates on economic mode.
Okay, then there's cylinder number 2, cylinder number 3, number 5, and cylinder number 7. Okay. Then it operates with the other 4 cylinders.
Okay, now before we go to our break, let's talk about its agility. To me it looks boxy, okay, it's beautiful, it looks like a beast, it's vicious, and even the sound, it's thunderous. But in terms of agility, in terms of stability, how does it compare in relation to its rivals on the other side?
It's on a look of its own. The suspension setup allows it to do whatever you want to take it to the limit. Okay. It easily adapts to the curves. It easily senses the unevenness of the road and responds pre-respond accordingly, and it thinks like you have told it to think that way.
And coming from the car master himself, our resident car analyst, the Alpha, there, explaining the Jeep SRT8, American engineering, American muscle, V8 engine Hemi. Let's go for our short break. When we come back, we'll look at more of our Jeep SRT8 and what it has to offer. Welcome to 3-in-1. We are 3-in-1. This is the name of our television show. We are looking at the beauty of our cars, the performance of our cars, and the very purpose. And talking about beauty, we have our beautiful models here just to buttress and amplify what we are talking about. Alpha, let's go to the safety of the car. Is the Jeep SRT8 with its muscle, power and speed safe to drive?
100% Benson. You know, with safety and speed, it's like a finger in a nail. There's no single car that I know that can run as fast as it can without the highest level of safety.
The highest level of safety consideration.
Yes, and at the same time, there's no car that moves like maybe a tortoise that is highly safe. Those two goes hand in hand.
Okay, it's oil and water. You cannot drive slowly or have a slow car and you call it safe. You cannot have a fast car and say it is not safe.
Exactly. And the safety levels of this car only as well extends to what I call a peace of mind when driving this car.
Okay.
Jeep mechanical engineers, when designing this car, they took into consideration many factors. Okay. They wanted you to drive in total peace. Inside this car, when driving it, they have installed 14 microwaves. Okay. What these microwaves does is whenever they detect...
This is not the microwave at home in the kitchen, right?
No.
Okay, explain.
These microphones rather. When they detect unnecessary noise getting into the cabin, they emit opposing microwaves, which will like propel this unnecessary sound to outside the cabin, and you get to hear proper and purely refined sound emanating from your Harman Kardon.
It's sound purification.
Purified sound.
By Harman Kardon.
By Harman Kardon.
Okay. Now let us talk about more safety. The airbags. You normally have a car, an ordinary car with only 2 airbags on the steering and the dashboard. What does this car have to offer in terms of safety? Looking at the fact that a lot of people who want to drive this car, they drive them because of personal choice. Others, they know they've got families. When you've got families, you travel, there's risks. What has it got to offer?
The airbags in this car are many enough to take off each and every occupant in this car. Okay. There's no surplus to requirement, there's no insufficient supply to what has to be in this car. It's an SRT, by the way.
We're also told that what the Americans did here, when others govern maybe up to 240 or 250, this one has got a top end that goes beyond that.
Yes, it goes up to 280 kilometers per hour.
And that is the top speed?
That is the top speed.
True speed?
True speed, yes.
Okay.
They don't like falter with what Mother Nature has to provide in regard to Jeep. And since this car is a 2014 model, it is the 5-speed ZF automatic transmission.
Okay, you're talking about 2014. There is the latest big brother to this one. It's called the Jeep Trackhawk.
The Trackhawk.
Now they tout it as one of the fastest SUV on the planet. Okay, save for the Lamborghini Urus. But let's not talk about that. Let us talk about, you're talking about 5-speed. Somebody would expect that because you'd have a small car that is fast, maybe 2 liter with a 6-speed or 7-speed. Why the 5-speed? And tell me about that Z gearbox.
Every manufacturer who produces cars, there are stages to be passed by, from the prototype to the end product. Yes. So everything that is into the end product has been tested equally and over time. Now it's not about whether the car is big or small, but the fact that everything in that car correlates smoothly and is properly packaged.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with up to 5?
There's nothing wrong with up to 5.
It is concomitant with whatever produce of power comes about?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they wanted to have a 6-speed or 7-speed from the word go. Many things could not be as they are now in regard to this car.
Okay.
And with technology evolving over time, we see many additions of...
So German engineering, they would want to put up other... Okay, now we are talking about American engineering here. Now let us go to the issue of sensors and cameras and driver assistance. You talk about this language where maybe when you are driving, you need to be warned. When you're about to collide, you need to be warned. When you are reversing the parking, the distance, what has the Jeep SRT8 got to offer when you look at those things?
It has such many we can think of. If you look at this car, on the other side behind, below the mirror, yes, there's a camera. Okay. Its duty is to monitor everything that is happening here, okay, At the back, there's the rear view camera. Okay. It has its own department. The front as well has its own camera, which manages its own area of operation. There's the anti-skid control, there's the hill descent control, there's the ABS, obviously. Okay. ABS, obviously. That is anti-locking braking system. There are many things. And in between the outer body and the inside body, there are other elements that helps on reducing the impact in case you get involved in an accident.
In case of collision. That is the master himself, our resident analyst, Alpha. I want for us to go for a break. After the break, we are going inside of the Jeep SRT8. I'm going to be asking our beautiful models, our Flora and Sasha, to start the car for us, and then we're going to take it from there. Please don't go away. Keep tuning. Welcome back. This is 3-in-1, your favorite motor show. We are looking at the Jeep SRT8, American muscle. We've been talking. Now I would like for the beautiful ladies to start the machine. Let's hear what it is saying to us, because they say it communicates with you when you're driving it. Please, my lovely model, Flora, may you do the honors and start the SRT8. There they go. That is the sound of the SRT8. I'm going to ask her to rev it for us so that we can hear what the car has to offer. That's the SRT8. That is the power that we were talking about earlier.
You know, Benson, this sound,
yes,
it's an embodiment of street and racing technology.
Okay.
Simply put.
You have to be in the streets.
You have to be in the streets.
You have to know that this can race.
It can race.
Let's hear the revving one more time.
And infuse the technology.
That is the power that we are talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what we mean when you talk about the Jeep SRT8, American muscle. So much horsepower, so much to enjoy, sheer driving pleasure when you're driving the Jeep SRT8.
It has been engineered to be enjoyed.
They say the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. These are the cars that you and I, all of us, can drive, depending on choice and how much we work in life and we work for them, and the purpose of these cars. Their performance, obviously, we are talking about it. We are talking about their beauty. That is why we even have our lovely models here. The master himself. We are talking about earlier on the safety of the SRT8. We are talking about too much power. Now, to abate any fears, you're saying it is safe. Let's go to the braking aspect of it. We talked about the airbags. We talked about a lot of stability on the road, the traction, the handling. Let us talk about the brakes. They say it's ABS, anti-locking braking system. What is the difference? So that people know when you say ABS, what is the difference? And you're also talking about the Brembo braking? If it's got ABS, now why do you need the red calipers of the Bramo? Explain further.
It had to have the red calipers. It had to have the red calipers because of the capacity and the proven track record of the red calipers. As we speak, more than 80% of the teams competing in Formula One, they are supplied by Brembo. In 2000, only 2 teams in Formula One were not using this system, McLaren being one of them. And talking about this car, the braking system, this Brembo, have the ability to take you from 100 kilometers per hour to 0 in 34 meters. 34 meters.
From how many kilometers?
100 kilometers per hour to stand still in 34 meters.
Okay.
That's how effective these things are. And that is the starting point of the safety side of the SRT, Street Racing Technology.
And then the ABS, when we say ABS, anti-locking, I know maybe it's self-explanatory, but maybe you could care to explain to our viewers.
It's more about the operating system of the ABS, anti-locking braking system. Unlike your conventional braking systems, when you apply the brakes, whether it's on an emergency or not emergency, the tires will lock and you'll hear them like screeching. Yes. Now with the ABS, they don't like jump into trying to protect you all at once. They operate in a sequence. As such, saving you from unnecessary noise that will come from the screeching tires, and as well prolonging the lifespan of the tires in case you are in the tendency of applying brakes unnecessarily.
Alpha, we have been, since the beginning of this show, been talking. I think it's time for us to get inside of the cars. May I beseech our wonderful ladies, Sasha and Flora, get inside of the car. Let us now go inside of the car and let's see the interior of the car, what the car in terms of aesthetics and the feel and the ambience has got to offer.
And everything that comes along with SRT8.
Yes. Well, Master Alpha, our guru when it comes to analyzing what these cars have got to offer. Thank you so very much for your time.
Yeah, you know, Benson, I always feel honored to be part of this show.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is that. We are 3 in 1. This is the name of the show, 3 in 1. We look at beauty, performance, and purpose of the car. Until we meet again in our next episode, bye-bye.
Yeah.